Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking sunscreen accessories. These are products that boost your sun protection in addition to sunscreen. So if you're ready to talk all about sun shields, sun patches, protective clothing, hats, and visors, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So I think we all know that sunscreen is the #1 skincare product, right up there with cleansing and moisturizing. It is a fundamental part of any skincare routine. Not only is it protecting our skin from skin cancer, but it's also, helping us with our skincare goals. It's protecting our collagen and elastin. When those get broken down from sun exposure, that's where we start to see the fine lines and wrinkles. Sunscreen slows that down. It helps to protect our complexion, right? So we've got that even glowy skin instead of like dull looking skin. If you suffer with hyperpigmentation, I do, sunscreen can definitely help us as we're fading that and working towards our brightening goals. However, it's so important to acknowledge that sunscreen will not protect us from 100% of UV rays, right? It is a fallible product for a couple of reasons. I mean, sunscreen can only protect us so much, even with the perfect conditions and the perfect application. But also, I mean, human error is involved too, right? I mean, how we're applying it, how often we're applying it, and what type of formula we're choosing for what type of activity we're going to be performing outside is so important. So I'm not here to scare you. I honestly think that like sunscreen is so important, but all this content around how sunscreen is so important kind of induces anxiety. Like it does for me too, for sure. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to not be afraid to go outside and enjoy the sun. We only get so much time here on Earth, and it's something that brings me joy, is to be outside. And so I want to be able to be outside, but also know that I'm protecting myself, and I'm armed with the knowledge, right? So that's what this video is about. So if you're feeling a little like, oh my God, sunscreen's not protecting me, it's all good. I got you covered. Let's talk sun patches. Now, this is actually a product like category that I have just recently started playing around with this year. I predict that they're going to be very big this summer. You're probably already starting to see them in skincare content that you watch. So I've been playing around with these. These are really cool. So these actually don't contain sunscreen. They don't contain SPF. They actually are UPF rated. Now, that is the sun protection rating that is given to protective clothing, and that's exactly what these are. These are made out of fabric, and they're creating that physical barrier on the skin to block out the sun. So these ones are from Mediheal. These are the UV cut outdoor sun patch, and I have two different versions here. I have the wide protection, which as you can see is something that has like a wider patch for the cheek. I'll show you these in a second. And then I have triple protection, which gives you the cheek patch for both cheeks, and then they cover the bridge of the nose as well. And there's a couple of pairs in here, so it's not just one application. So both of these patches from Mediheal are rated UPF 50+, and then they also say that they help to block out 99% of UVB rays and about 92% of UVA rays. All right, so let me show you how these look. So as you can see, it covers a lot of the face. They come in all different shapes and sizes. This one, again from Mediheal, it is advertised as wide protection, but you can see it really covers that high point of the cheekbones and right under the eyes super well. This is where I've noticed most of my sun freckling happening, sun damage, right, is on the tops of my cheeks and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And they do have the triple protection version, which has the bridge of the nose protection as well. It looks like that. So there's lots of different shapes out there, but you can see why they're great if you are prone to, I would say definitely sun damage. Like I said, the darkening melanin, the sun damage and freckling here. But I think especially if you do get like a melasma response from heat, right, from sun and heat, and you get those melasma patches, this might be a good way to help give extra protection to that area where you get that kind of like mask of discoloration, right? So these can be very, very handy. I will say I've been testing them out a little bit, and they don't hold up to heavy sweat. Minor sweat, yes, but super heavy sweat, they do like to peel up on the edges. This particular one, I am planning to try some other ones in the future. If you want me to test like to do a video on sun patches, because there's all different kinds, and I recently just ordered one that is actually clear, that is designed to be worn under makeup, that almost like melts into your skin. So if you are interested, because I want to gauge your interest here, I don't want to make it if nobody wants it, but let me know if you want to see some more sun patches. If you're interested in this type of product, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I've been liking adding these into my sun protection routine when I know I'm going to be outside for a long time. I'm not wearing these every single day. Obviously, they're a little, I don't know, they're kind of cute, but they are kind of strange, right? But I mean, it's important to acknowledge that like these are single-use products, and so I think they can be kind of wasteful from an environmental standpoint, but also, of course, from a financial standpoint as well. I think you really only want to invest in something like this if you have a very specific event or something that you know you're going to be doing. If you play sports outside a lot, you might want to wear something like this when you're golfing, hiking, biking, maybe doing pickleball, right? If you do a lot of gardening, like I'm wearing these like once a week, right? When I'm going to be outside for the day. That definitely is a good situation for that, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend wearing something like this every single day. Your sunscreen and some of the other stuff we're going to talk about in the video will definitely be helpful, but I have to say, these are pretty clever invention. They definitely do seem to help a lot. And there's all different kinds out there. And this one actually feels quite cooling and refreshing on my cheeks as well, which is a bonus in the heat. So let's talk hats, because this is my #1 way that I am boosting my sun protection, and it's super easy to keep one of these by the door or in my car to give me a little bit of extra protection. So hats basically give us a physical barrier between our skin and the sun, and really you want to look for the widest brim possible, because the brim is what's going to keep the sun off of your face, and it especially is protective for this area right here. And if you're like in your late 20s, your 30s, you may have started to see it emerging, the little sun damage and the freckles right here, right? That's because when the sun comes down, it's actually hitting the highest points of your face, which happens to be the bridge of the nose, the tops of the cheekbones, and sometimes even like the brow bone up here. You're gonna see your sun damage emerging here first. And of course, you know, if you're older, you've already noticed it, right? So it always hits those top parts a little bit more intensely, and that's where the hats come into play, and it really helps to shield the sun from hitting that area. So let's talk like good, better, best when it comes to the type of hat you should be looking for sun protection. Baseball caps. This is going to be in the good category. It's definitely not the best sun protection, but it's definitely not nothing. And these I find to be the easiest to work into your routine if you're not used to wearing hats. Because when you're like wearing a really big hat and you're out in public, you feel a little like on display, like a little dressed up, right? I live in an area where sun protection's not like super duper, like people aren't passionate about it. People are passionate about the sun. They're not necessarily passionate about sun protection. And so if you're looking for a more discreet option where you can kind of blend in a little bit better, baseball cap is good. I think these are great when you're a little bit more active sometimes too. The baseball cap is good, but you will notice that the brim is narrow. So you're not necessarily going to be getting the protection on the sides here, on the side of the face, but it will give good protection for this narrow kind of spot here. Now, my better option is a bucket hat, and I'm so excited that they are back in style because these have a much wider brim all the way around. And so you're going to get a lot more protection at the sides of your face, as you can see, as well as the center. The brim tends to be a little bit wider and a little bit more adjustable lower too, so you're definitely getting a lot of coverage from the forehead down to the tip of the nose. Now, sun hats are going to be the best option out of the hats, but they do tend to have a wider brim, and I know that if you're not used to wearing sun you know, hats and things like that, it can feel like a little big. This one's actually a little bit on the smaller side, but you can see that the brim is much bigger than the bucket hat. And it's definitely offering a lot more protection beyond just the tip of the nose, and they can get even bigger, much bigger than this. But I do find when something is marketed sun hat, it's going to have a brim that is wider than a bucket hat. Now, another option for you could be a visor or a face shield. You've probably seen these before. They're pretty groovy. They're pretty futuristic and Mad Max-like, right? But these do have a benefit. So the visor option, I really like these because they're not quite as like full on as the full face shield, which I'll show you in a second, but they do offer a little bit more protection than, like I was showing you then, the baseball cap. You see how they come all the way around, so you're getting the protection for the tops of the cheekbones, the highest points of the face. This one's kind of cool because you can pull it down over your eyes too, so you can get a little bit of glare reduction if that's important for you. Maybe you're, I don't know, golfing or something like that. You need to get the sun out of your eyes. So then this is obviously, the lower you take it, the more protection you are getting. And this is a really high quality sun shield. This is from Bluestone Sun Shields. They really take care. The reflective coating, the shield here, actually protects you from about 99% of UVB and UVA rays, which is awesome. And I like that it's adjustable, it's comfortable, it's a little like futuristic, but I think it actually is kind of fashionable and sort of fun at the same time too. And I think it's worth mentioning for those who do have long hair like me, I do like these shield and visor options because you can wear your hair up. Whereas the other ones, I have to always remember to take my hair down. I usually have my hair up in the summertime. So ponytails, high buns, all of that. The shield is very good for if you like to wear your hair up. So let's talk about the full face shield. This is a lot, right? Like, this is ultimate protection. If you don't want the sun on your face, this is literally it, right? This will definitely protect you. Now, honestly, am I wearing this every single day when I go out to the store? No, absolutely not. I'm not. This is a lot of look for me, quite honestly. However, there are certain situations where something like this is very handy. In the high of summer, if you need to be outside and you're very concerned, this can be helpful. It also takes a lot of glare off. This particular one, this is also Bluestone. They do actually help to keep the heat off of your face too, so you're not getting super hot underneath the shield. This would be good maybe if you are using a medication where you become very sensitive to the sun, and even just wearing sunscreens like not quite enough for you. Surgical procedures, if you're trying to protect healing like scars and things like that. That's actually the original intent of why this brand started making these, was to help people who were recovering from procedures on their face and they really needed like the most protection. You could definitely wear this for something like that. You know, I'm not saying everybody needs to wear this, but there's very certain situations where something like this, maybe you can't even like tolerate sunscreen on your face, but you're concerned about protecting your face. Good option. Now let's talk clothing. You definitely want to look for that UPF rating. Remember, that's the sunscreen rating for fabrics. And these are actually very easy to find these days. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but I do recommend having like a good like throw-on jacket that you can maybe keep in your car if you tend to forget to wear sunscreen on your arms. Maybe you're driving back from work or something and the sun is really intense and hot and you're like in a t-shirt or something. Just throw this jacket on. It will help to protect your arms and your hands while you're driving without having to remember body sunscreen, without having to like use driving gloves. I know some people like the driving gloves. I don't like wearing gloves on my hands when I'm holding the steering wheel. So I love these jackets because they usually have thumb holes, so they cover a good portion of the tops of your hands, which tend to get a lot of sun when you are driving. So they're very protective without all that gooey, greasy body sunscreen. I also use mine every single week weekend when I'm mowing my lawn. I will wear body sunscreen, but I'll also throw this on just to help give my skin another layer of protection. And it also keeps the heat off of my skin. These fabrics are very light, moisture wicking, and very breathable. So you can find these anywhere. I bought my jackets off of Amazon. I showed these to you last year. I have a couple in rotation that I like to use. They're pretty affordable, around $25. You can also find sun sleeves. So it's the UPF material, but they're just like long sleeves with thumb holes, and those are nice to keep in your car too. Sunglasses. These are a very fashionable way to protect yourself, and I'm always surprised at the amount of people I see who don't actually wear sunglasses. You know, they are very protective against the sun, and you 1000% can get a sunburn on the back of your eye, on your retina. It is possible. I have seen it. I used to work in eye care. Absolutely, you can get freckles, sun damage, and sunburn in the back of your eye. So please protect your actual eyeballs. You only get one pair, okay? They're very important. However, this is skincare, right? They actually do help to take the intensity, right, of the sun off of that delicate eye area skin. The skin is much thinner. The collagen structure, the elastin, all of that in there is a lot more delicate, and that is usually why the first signs of aging do start to show up around the eye area. Not only is it a dynamic area, right? I mean, movement, expression, right? We move that area a lot, but also the sun can damage the collagen there a lot quicker because of how delicate it is. Sunscreen absolutely helps. Sunglasses, again, a physical barrier, something that is really taking the intensity of the sun off of our skin. So look for lenses that are a little bit bigger, that cover that area, especially if you're concerned about fine lines and wrinkles under the eye and in the corner. Look for bigger lenses. You definitely, if you're buying them straight off the rack, you definitely want to look for lenses that say that they protect 100% UV rays. Don't settle for anything less. Don't settle for 98. Look for those lenses that are 100% protective against UV rays. That does not mean that they're expensive. It doesn't mean that they're designer frames. It's all about the lenses, baby. If you're doing like a custom pair or prescription, definitely look for the materials that have that 100% UV protection. That's going to be like Trivax or polycarbonate lenses. And also, I personally like to put mirror coats on my lenses because it just gets a little bit more light bounce. So if you're light sensitive, it gives a nicer viewing experience, but it also, again, is taking some of the intensity off. And then polarized lenses are also going to take down the glare, but know that those are just like little extra things that can help, but they're not necessarily protecting you from the UV rays. The lenses, we need 100% UV protection in the lenses, and that can range from, you know, like a $10 pair all the way up. It doesn't have to cost a lot. So let me know your favorite sun accessories in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see some more skincare content from me. I am very active here on YouTube. I do long form videos and I do shorts, so turn on notifications. They're never out of the loop. All right, I'm gonna go enjoy this day. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.